As we all know, Adam Sandler is known for his humorous and entertaining roles, but have you ever noticed that he also has the ability to be endearing at the same time? What's even stranger than an Adam Sandler looking for love is an Adam Sandler whose actions and consequences actually matter. Now, this is not the same careless Adam Sandler that we have grown to know over the years. In the film Punch Drunk Love, Adam Sandler plays Barry Egan. Barry Egan is a bathroom supply business owner who also has 7 taunting sisters. Does it get any better than that? The film is a combination of comedy, which is Sandler's forte, romance, which is also another strong suit for Sandler, but one he doesn't get enough credit for, and depending on personal opinion, a thriller, because the little that he does have is at stake when he decides to risk it all for a couple of minutes of fun. I believe that filmmakers mix genres to attract a larger variation of audience, as the design of each genre is to trigger emotions, and no one wants to watch the same old, worn-out, forbidden love story that we've heard since the time of Shakespeare. So essentially, genre hybridization brings a sensation of advancement to a film and genre.
This is great food.
The film goes from romantic comedy to thriller in a fluctuation of movie scenes. As we watch the flawed life of Barry Egan take a turn from bad to worse,
Just fix it, sir.
the film utilizes these genres to take us through the emotional roller coaster called life alongside Mr. Barry. I believe the purpose of the hybridization is to first and foremost entertain, as well as shed light on a different side of Adam Sandler that we typically do not get to see. Barry Egan's story is enough to bring feelings of pity to anyone for a young man as himself. For starters, Barry was raised in a family with 7 sisters, and they're not afraid to laugh in his face. His business is not too fortunate, and neither is his love life. Some might say that he should be in his prime, but he's still trying to figure out the algorithm to what we call life. His desire for love is evident. He even results in calling a hotline for a little bit of excitement. In a turn of events, the hotline host, who obtained all of his personal and financial information as a form of payment for her services, is out to suck Mr. Egan dry of everything that he has. The thrill begins after that moment, when Barry becomes the target to a violent and dangerous scam. From threatening phone calls to physical run-ins with the phone operator's brothers, while at the same time trying to hold on to the only thing that would ever be right in his life. Barry flips the script when the scam puts the woman of his dreams in danger. He beats the brothers and tracks down the origins of the phone operator and her partner. The film mixes genres to keep the audience enticed. Personally, I was excited to see what was to come next, and I was really rooting for the happiness and success of Barry Egan, but things never seemed to be that simple for him. Romantic comedies originated in the early 1900s. Its existence could be marked by the incorporation of sound in film.
The pudding is not.
By 1913, romantic comedies were an established film genre. The first 2 films released that year related to romantic comedy were films directed by Alice Guy: Matrimony, Speed Limit, and A House Divided. Sound was present in films by 1920s, and the association of dialogue to its respective genre was of great importance. The original roles of women in romantic comedies changed alongside the perspective of women in society. For example, in this film, Lena is more successful and put together than Barry. This is because women are no longer viewed as property, but as individuals at the time the film was created. This was not always the case in romantic comedies. The film captures the meet, separate, and reunite concept that was described in An Introduction to Film Genres. While Barry is fighting something that is unbeknown to Lena, his actions push her away while he is trying to find a solution and face his blackmailers. He finally comes clean to her, and Lena is given an opportunity to understand why he has been acting in such a strange manner. The film's director chose to use single focus as opposed to the dual focus strategy to portray the involvement of the characters. When single focus occurs, the film typically focuses more on the life of one character and later introduces a second party. Deception is also present in this film, as it is in many romantic comedies before its time. The fact that Barry is harboring a secret about his telephone hookup that caused him a lot of trouble and eventually puts Lena in the hospital is an example of that. There is play acting present, This is depicted when Barry lies to Lena about having a business trip in Hawaii at the same time that she does, just to win her over. Dialect has always been a dead giveaway when it comes to romantic comedies. In the film, Barry tells Lena, "I'm looking at your face and I just want to smash it. I just want to effing smash it with a sledgehammer and squeeze it. You're so pretty." Lena returns the favor and keeps the same energy when replying to Barry. This was during a scene where they were intimate, which brings the comedy portion out of this romantic comedy. Barry also states, "I have a love in my life. It makes me stronger than anything you can imagine." More of his lines consist of, "I didn't ask for a shrink. That must have been somebody else. Also, that pudding isn't mine. Also, I'm wearing this suit today because I had a very important meeting this morning and I don't have a crying problem." Barry decided to follow Lena to Hawaii, where they become intimate and his feelings for her grow. This would be the perfect example of the character leaving to the green world in this film. Barry is also knocked to the ground in this film by his blackmailer's brother, which I believe can be a type of pratfall. Thriller films can be traced back to the 1930s. Of course, there were plays and stories written before, but the technology to create a thriller film was not present until a later time. The Most Dangerous Game was one of the first thriller films. In thrillers, there is typically a hero who is set to negotiate a never-ending maze. Barry is the hero in this film, trying to make sure he is not robbed for all of his life savings, staying alive, and capturing the heart of a woman who actually takes him seriously. The film certainly brought on feelings of suspense between Barry trying to keep his secret a secret around his siblings and the new apple of his eye, Lena, to the random and violent pop-ups with his blackmailer's brothers. Let's not forget the turn of events where he is the aggressor, going to great lengths to protect the woman he has fallen for. Danger and drama were waiting at every corner of this film. The music was up with the suspense as well, heightening every on-the-edge sensation. Personally, my emotions were all over the place with this film. I was not expecting for the film to have a grip on me like it did. The protagonist in this film was innocent and was led to break out of his shell in order to restore order in his life. The thriller genre was originally represented by one name, Hitchcock. He set the bar for many iconographies such as the Hitchcock Blondes, which is a blonde woman that can be found in a thriller film. Lena, Barry's romance, was a blonde in the film. The film features moments of entrapment where the main character has nowhere to run. He's harassed over the phone and in person. He is not ever dangling from buildings, but there are car accidents, robberies, physical violence, and of course, the ringing of the phone. The true villain, the phone operator's identity, isn't revealed until later in the film, as she has her brothers doing her dirty work for her. The most important example of the romantic comedy and thriller genres interacting in this film is a scene where Barry and Lena are coming back from their trip, where they are deeply connected and are hit by a truck full of the phone operator's brothers who are ready to bring violence to Barry's life. In a split second, the love Barry has for Lena overpowers who he has shown us he is in the film and leads him to knocking 3 out of the 4 guys out and breaking the truck windows. He wanted to make sure his message was clear. He was in love and they were messing with the wrong guy. Also, the scene where he is taking a phone call and trying to give Lena his attention to assert his interest in her. You just never knew when his secret would be out. The hints that led me to recognize these interactions are the music, the way Barry becomes uneasy and a tad bit frantic. It is evident that he has a lot more than money to lose, something deeper. Through the ups and the downs of this film, one of these is evident. Adam Sandler will no longer simply be recognized for his appearance in comedy films. Clearly, Mr. Sandler is a jack of all trades and there is no limit to his talent. The film does a great job at combining the two genres. It is evident that this is not a slapstick comedy by the expression of Barry's feelings towards Lena and how her love is enough to give him the strength that he needed in his life. The film kept me on the edge of my seat. with all of the blackmailing and dangerous brothers who are out to exploit Barry for as long as he remained the same unmotivated individual he was before Lena. For a second, I wanted to associate the film with melodrama, but I actually found myself at the edge of my seat on more than one occasion. I was also blurting things out loud, so I trusted my gut and went with the thriller. I think this film should, if it already hasn't, motivated actors to take on roles other than the ones they are generally known for. The film received 14 awards and 37 nominations, which speaks for itself. The future of film hybridization depends on the success of past films to motivate new and improved hybridizations.